What about Yemen? It's continued to be a horrible humanitarian, environmental disaster, and it's literally on your doorstep. Are you seeing? How do you see the way out of this?
Well, we've laid out what we see as the way out, which is the initiative that we launched, the Strategic Peace Initiative, the ceasefire initiative, where we offered a comprehensive ceasefire throughout Yemen, as well as access to ports and airports and all of that in a much more streamlined way, and of course also laying the groundwork for political negotiations. Unfortunately, so far the Houthis have not taken up that offer. On the contrary, they've continued to fire ballistic missiles, drones at Saudi civilian targets, as well as continue to attack the front lines of the government of Yemen, primarily in Marib. Marib is a city of about 1 million citizens, and on top of that, 1.5 million IDPs, or even more, that they have threatened not just with ground attack, but also have fired ballistic missiles at, killing countless civilians. And it appears that they still favor the military option, that they still think that they can achieve some military gains that can give them an advantage. Our message to them has been and is and will continue to be that they should put the needs of the Yemeni people first rather than the needs of their group, and that they should agree to a ceasefire and engage in peace talks with the government of Yemen, with all parties in Yemen, and forge a new path for Yemen, a path for Yemen that will include them necessarily as a political actor in the future of Yemen, rather than trying to impose their will by force on the rest of Yemen. This is the challenge. And of course, you mentioned the environmental issue, and here we continue to be very concerned about, the oil tanker Safar, which is moored outside of Hodeidah, which is falling apart, and where the Houthis are denying the United Nations access to do even rudimentary maintenance. And this just shows you how much disregard they have for the interests of Yemen and the people of Yemen, because if that tanker does rupture, it will ruin the livelihoods of many thousands of fishermen. It will ruin the environment in the Gulf of Aden and the southern Red Sea for generations. But rather than allow the UN to try and fix it, they are insisting on using it as a negotiating tool.
Staying in the region, Iran. Now, the JCPOA, the Iran nuclear deal, as it's often called, it looks like this administration, the Biden administration, wants to revive it. And there's been talks and back and forth. That would put Iran, it seems to be, in quite a strong position. Do you worry about that? Do you worry about an emboldened Iran? And are you in a position has that ship sailed? Have you come to terms with the fact that the US may be doing this despite Saudi Arabia's concerns?
So we already have an emboldened Iran, and Iran is extremely active in the region with its negative activity, whether it's continuing to supply the Houthis with weapons or endangering shipping in the Arabian Gulf, which we've got reports coming in today that may indicate additional activity there, in being part of the destruction that's happening to Lebanon's economy by helping to garner the political deadlock that's there. All around the region, Iran continues to be emboldened. I think the JCPOA, we supported it when it was first signed grudgingly, because we thought it was incomplete as a non-proliferation document, but also because it would lead to an emboldening of Iran. We now hear from the Biden administration, from others, that they are committed to a longer and stronger approach to JCPOA. So whether that's a re-entry into JCPOA and then finding a path to long and stronger, we are interested to hear that, how we're going to achieve that. What's the strategy to get there? We certainly support a deal with Iran, as long as that deal ensures that Iran will not now or ever gain access to nuclear weapons technology. So that's the challenge. It's not that we think Iran should forever be a pariah. We would very much welcome Iran as a productive part of the region. It could actually be a significant contributor to regional stability, to regional economic prosperity. But that would require them engaging in the region as a state actor in a normal way on state-to-state relations, not supporting militias, not sending weapons to armed groups, and most importantly, giving up a nuclear program which might be used to develop nuclear weapons. If we can achieve that, if the JCPOA negotiation going on now in Vienna, although suspended temporarily, can help lead us to that, that's a good thing. But I think the emphasis on longer and stronger is critical. How are we going to get that longer and stronger deal? And how are we going to address the broader regional context? And that's a discussion we continue to have with our partners. And I want to say I'm very appreciative of the level of engagement we've found, both from the US, but also from our European partners, as well as all those involved in the negotiations. So there's a best engagement going on. We hear that everybody wants the same thing, so a longer and stronger deal. Everybody wants to address Iran's regional malign activities that are destabilizing the region and causing risks not just to us, but to global security and global economy. How to get there is still something that's, I think, under discussion.